So this is one of those rare times where I actually read the book before I saw the movie. And while the book made me angry in all the right ways, the movie made me angry in all the wrong ways. So I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free for both the book and the movie as I can, although I will say, don't bother watching the movie. It's a waste of money. The book is a dire cautionary tale about the consequences of relying on social media too much to the point where you're allowing it to govern your life. I mean, one of the tenets of the company in the book is privacy is theft. The movie, however, is Emma Watson getting a job with a popular new tech company, but it has a deep, dark secret. Throughout the book, you actually get to watch the main character get brainwashed by the company into believing all of this hype. The movie doesn't even try to approach that. It shirks away from the central premise of the book, just, I don't know, maybe because there's something that Hollywood wants you to keep doing? If you're not even going to try to capture the central premise of the book, and in fact are going to completely avoid it, then why make a movie about the whole thing when all the movie's going to do is drive people more towards the book? Your end goal doesn't make any sense! Anyway, that's going to be its own very livid review when it comes out, so let's just review the movie as a movie. Even excluding everything that it got wrong from the adaptation, it's still boring. I mean, admittedly, the book had slow parts, but a lot of that was just to build up the monotony of social media and the reliance upon it. Sorry, I'll stop doing that. But the movie has these long dialogue sections that are supposed to have this tremendous weight behind it as we see May getting more and more corrupted by the company, but that corruption never seeps in because they've changed the ending! Now instead of watching May go from innocent wallflower to corrupted individual driving the social media aspect of the company pretty much by herself, you've got Emma Watson being cautiously optimistic about the whole thing, even though she is directly responsible for one of the worst things the company tries to promote. God, I know I'm not trying to make this an adaptation review. I'm just so livid at how badly they fucked up the ending and the theme. I'll just get the positives out of the way. The set pieces look great. The acting was not bad for what was there. It was a little drab for my taste, but I like Tom Hanks. And Emma Watson's not bad. Because the movie came across as something of a rush job, there wasn't enough time to establish certain characters or moments, even within the context of just the movie, excluding the book. Case in point was Mercer, May's former boyfriend and still kind of friend, who really wasn't into the whole advent of technology thing. Now, if you really want to overanalyze the book, May is supposed to be representative of the everyman, the average person who should be able to put themselves into May's shoes, at least to some extent. Mercer, however, is the outside man who's not really into the technology. He has his own small business, but he's not even online. He eventually gets pushed away from May because she's getting more and more obsessed with the company. However, he doesn't like that and doesn't want to be part of her life if that's what she's going to be. The movie doesn't spend any time developing this, and in the second real scene with him, he just says, "I don't want to be around you anymore." So a lot of the decisions and events from the book were represented in the movie. However, they didn't have the kind of emotional weight or investment that they were supposed to. Things happen, but because there's no respect for the theme of the book, there's no reason for us to care about the characters or the events or the dire consequences that this is all leading to. Oh, God. And then they spoil one of the biggest twists, like 40 minutes into the movie. Something that was revealed in, like, the final scene. One of the big moments of the book that is supposed to encapsulate everything that's wrong with the company is revealed 40 minutes in, pretty much just for the hell of it. And it doesn't go anywhere. The consequences of that scene in the book kept me awake for like 2 hours after I finished it. In the movie, it's just a throwaway line. Oh, well, we better just check that little plot point off. Okay, moving on to the next one. And that's just when they choose to include elements from the book. One of the consequences of May's choices was actually a guy she got herself involved with. Well, because that wouldn't have led to a nice happy ending, he was cut entirely. Well, no, he wasn't cut entirely. He was actually replaced by a woman who was still pushing the same idea that he was in the book, but after that, it was like, after 2 or 3 lines, was never seen again. And I don't think I've seen a movie screw up the central point of the source material this much since Assassin's Creed. Whatever you do, just don't watch the movie. The pace is way too slow, the characters aren't interesting, they're not representative of what they're supposed to be representative of. There are no real consequences for any of the decision that Emma Watson's character makes. None of that winds up the movie, and that raises the question, what's the point? Skip the movie entirely. Read the book. This is really good. This is probably really optimistic of me, but I hope that someday people look at this book and maybe even this author, the same way that we look at Charles Dickens now. Someone who makes really poignant social observations that should be seen as cautionary tales. So there, that's the one thing the movie got right. It taught me about this book. Alright, I'm done. I'm too pissed to continue.